Life in America used to be all about opportunity, a place where anyone could make it, no matter their background, if they worked hard enough. But recently, something has shifted. More and more people are realizing that life isn't as easy as it once was. If you felt like things are getting tougher, you're not alone. From skyrocketing costs to shrinking paychecks, the American dream feels like it's becoming less achievable. In this video, we'll dive into why so many Americans are feeling that life in the U.S. has gotten harder than it used to be. One of the biggest reasons life in America feels harder is the rising cost of living. Things that used to be affordable like groceries, gas, and housing are now way more expensive. Take rent, for example. In some cities, rents have increased by over 30% in just a few years. For many people, that means spending a huge portion of their paycheck just to keep a roof over their heads. But it's not just rent, grocery prices have skyrocketed too. Basic items like fresh produce, meat, and dairy are now more expensive than they were just a few years ago. For families trying to eat healthy on a budget, it's become nearly impossible. The gap between what people earn and what they need to live is growing, and it's putting a real strain on finances. And the problem doesn't stop there. It gets worse when wages are considered. While the cost of living keeps rising, wages aren't keeping up. For many Americans, their paycheck doesn't stretch as far as it used to. People are working longer hours, some even holding down multiple jobs, but they still find themselves struggling to make ends meet. Wage growth has barely kept pace with inflation over the past decade, meaning many are effectively making less than they did before when you account for rising living costs. It feels like you're working harder than ever, but the money just isn't going as far. This issue ties directly into job insecurity, which is another challenge that's making things harder. Job insecurity is another big issue. It used to be that a steady job with benefits and room to grow was something most people could count on. But in today's world, layoffs, automation, and outsourcing have become the norm. Many people who have spent years with a company are suddenly let go without warning, and it's harder than ever to find a new job that offers the same stability. The gig economy is booming, but many of these jobs come with little to no benefits, no health insurance, no retirement plans, and no job security. Even those with full-time jobs are starting to feel the pressure, as companies are cutting back on benefits and hours to save money. It's not just about losing a paycheck, it's about the uncertainty of not knowing if your job will still be there tomorrow. This growing instability is leaving many people anxious about their future and their ability to provide for their families. And with the struggle to secure housing, these pressures only intensify. Owning a home has long been considered a cornerstone of the American dream, but for many, that dream is becoming increasingly out of reach. Over the past few years, home prices have surged, with some cities seeing prices double or even triple. For many Americans, this means that even though they're working hard and saving, they can't afford to buy a home. The rising cost of housing isn't just affecting major cities, smaller towns and suburbs are also feeling the impact. On top of that, mortgage rates have increased, making it even harder to secure a loan or afford monthly payments. For younger generations, especially, the idea of saving enough for a down payment feels almost impossible. Even renting isn't affordable for many people. With rents climbing, families are being forced to spend a large portion of their income on housing, leaving little room for other essentials like healthcare or saving for the future. The lack of affordable housing is creating a vicious cycle where people are stuck renting instead of building wealth through homeownership, leaving them with fewer opportunities to secure a stable future. And then there's the burden of debt. Debt is another major issue that's making life harder for many Americans. Whether it's student loans, credit card debt, or medical bills, the average American is carrying thousands of dollars in debt. The student loan crisis, in particular, is overwhelming. Many young people are starting their adult lives with tens of thousands of dollars in student loan debt, and they'll be paying it off for decades. Even for those without student loans, credit card debt is a huge problem. High interest rates make it nearly impossible to pay off balances, trapping people in a cycle of debt. Medical bills are another financial burden, especially since healthcare costs in the U.S. are among the highest in the world. Even those with health insurance often face high deductibles and out-of-pocket costs. As a result, many Americans are living paycheck to paycheck with little room to save or invest for the future. The pressure to pay off debt and keep up with monthly expenses is intense, and it's taking a toll on people's mental and emotional well-being. This pressure is leading to greater mental health challenges. The financial strain that many Americans are experiencing is taking a serious toll on mental health. As costs rise and wages remain stagnant, anxiety, stress, and depression are becoming more common. The constant worry about making ends meet, losing a job, or not being able to afford basic necessities is exhausting. Many people feel overwhelmed, constantly juggling bills, debt, and the fear of an uncertain future. It's hard to stay optimistic when you're not sure if you'll be able to pay your rent or afford groceries next month. The pressure is especially high for those already dealing with other stressors, like raising children or caring for elderly relatives. The stress is not just financial, it affects relationships, sleep, and overall well-being. For many, the emotional toll of these financial worries can be just as damaging as the financial burden itself. And this emotional strain adds to the growing social divide. The gap between the rich and poor in America is wider than ever, and it's becoming more noticeable every day. While the wealthiest Americans continue to amass fortunes, the rest of the country is struggling to keep up. The growing inequality is creating feelings of frustration, and it's fueling a sense that the American dream is no longer within reach for many. The rich have access to resources that allow them to stay ahead, better education, health care, and job opportunities, while millions of others are left behind. This divide isn't just about money, it's about access to opportunities. It's harder for low and middle-income families to get ahead, and even harder to break the cycle of poverty. The social divide is not just a financial issue, it's a matter of fairness. People are starting to realize that the system is stacked against them, and this inequality is breeding resentment. Many are questioning whether the system can ever truly be fair again. This frustration is also growing within the political system. Politically, America is more divided than ever. People feel like their voices aren't being heard, and that politicians are more interested in maintaining power than in solving the problems facing everyday Americans. Whether it's healthcare, taxes, or job security, many feel like the system is broken. Politicians argue and fight over policies, but little gets done to address the issues that matter most to ordinary people. This lack of action has led to growing frustration and disillusionment, and many Americans are starting to question whether their government can ever effectively represent them. What's worse, political gridlock has made it harder for meaningful change to happen. Instead of coming together to find solutions, the political divide only deepens, leaving many feeling like their future is out of their control. This frustration with the political system is fueling a sense of helplessness and contributing to the overall instability that so many Americans are feeling. Despite all the challenges, there's hope for a better future. People are starting to realize that the current system isn't working, and they're demanding change. From raising wages to making housing more affordable, there's a growing call for policies that address the real issues many Americans face. Change won't happen overnight, but with increasing awareness and collective action, it's possible. The future doesn't have to be defined by rising costs and inequality. By coming together and pushing for real solutions, there's hope that the American dream can be restored, offering everyone an equal chance to succeed. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. We want to hear from you. What do you think is the biggest challenge America is facing today? How do you think we can fix it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. Together, we can make a difference.